Hello and welcome back to Whovian Espresso, and it has been a strange week because in the last week we've gone from having a leak of this set to actually having it in hand, which is quite a surreal experience really. But today I am here equipped with my coffee, post prom night, feeling exhausted, here to unbox for you guys today the latest character options Doctor Who release, Doctor Who, the Second Doctor and Electronic TARDIS from the Abominable Snowmen, a missing Doctor Who story featuring a prototype figure finally released in the wild, and the first electronic Doctor Who TARDIS from the classic series since 2010 or 11, so over a decade essentially. But yeah, it's been a long time coming, and I think they may have just made the best Doctor Who TARDIS figure set for a long time. So yeah, let's get into this unboxing. It looks fantastic and I cannot wait to get it out of the box. So, first of all, taking a look at the box, and the first thing that I notice is that you bring in a B&M Doctor Who set for the TARDIS sets from the Second Doctor and War Games TARDIS. You can immediately tell, if I bring that around, there is quite a larger it's a lot wider. But that's the main difference in terms of the box. The packaging style is all the same, I think, pretty much. So you've got the same Doctor Who logo, although at the top there is a window which is not present on the B&M TARDISes, which I think is quite nice because it allows you a bit more visibility into the set. I mean, it's not going to be on toy stores anyway, so it doesn't make that much of a difference, but it's here. I mean, if you're a collector and you're keeping it in the box, then that's probably valuable, I guess. You've got the Character Online exclusive sort of printed medal. It's not as shiny as the B&M one, but it looks more professional, I'll give them that. You've got the title of the set, The Second Doctor and Electronic TARDIS, from the Abominable Snowmen 1967 Collector's Series sets with lights and sound effects, which are all very exciting. And I do wonder if we all have inherited an opening doors sign, but I don't think we will. I have noticed that a lot of people with their boxes have come slightly slanted, so the TARDIS looks like it's on a hill, but mine doesn't seem to have that. I guess it's just because it's in the post. Side, you got the same sort of things printed on each side. This side, the same. You have no picture of the set on either side, which you do on the B&M set, but again, it provides better visibility, which I think is probably nicer. You got a bit of a bio on the story, got the picture of the set there, which looks a lot nicer actually. I like that. Well, this is a lot interesting picture that we haven't seen. It's the prototype image, and you can see that it looks slightly white, like thinner on there. I think it's a probably digital recreation, I guess. I don't think that looks like an actual picture of it, but at least of the TARDIS anyway. I've always thought it looks weird compared to the actual thing. But yeah, you got bio on the story, and you got a bio on the TARDIS, maybe? Yeah, you got a little bit of the TARDIS here, and it tells you what the set features. TARDIS in his iconic shaggy fur coat. It tells you that, I love that it says this set features, and you got the TARDIS and you got the model. It's not just it's saying that as if it's what it was, which I think is quite funny. But yeah, that is the set. So let us release the furry Second Doctor. So before we get into the toys themselves, let's have a look at the cardboard backdrop. And here you can see we've got a variety of references. We've of course got a Yeti from the Abominable Snowmen. I personally prefer the look of the Web of Fear Yeti, but I'm glad that we got a Yeti included in here somewhere. As much as I'd love to see a Yeti figure, I do think it is somewhat unlikely. We've got some lovely grass on the ground. Great for cows, I guess. I think if you look in here, you can see a rest-on robot. This is kind of like stuck on, so I'm hesitant to remove it because I do like keeping these little cardboard things. I think somewhere there's supposed to be a death tower or something. I'm not sure where, but I know that in the corner there is the monastery from the story. I'm not quite sure if I have a look. I'm going to pause this and have a look. Okay, I haven't found the Death Tower, but I have spotted is another Yeti hiding in the corner there, which I don't think anyone else has noticed yet, but I may be wrong about that. But no Death Tower that I can see. I'm sure it is there somewhere. But either way, it's a lovely, nice... I love how it's attempted to be slanted, even if mine didn't come slanted like that, like it is in the famous colour photographs for this story. I love the Himalayas, so to speak, which is just the Welsh coastline. In fact, I bought the book of this to read because I'm very interested in this story. I love the weather fear, and this set just sealed the deal for me. I looked at the soundtrack, I was like, no, that's too expensive, so I bought the book instead, which was at a fraction of the price, to say the least. But yeah, we're having a very Yeti-themed couple of days. Anyway, I love the fact that they've included the Yeti. He's one of my favourite monsters. I even have a custom Yeti, which I did a video on, which I think is going to look great in this background with a very second Doctor. And I found him again. But yeah, anyway, let's have a look at the toys themselves. So, first of all, let's have a look at everyone's favourite Doctor. Well, I don't know, might be a favourite, might not be a favourite. It's not my favourite, but I don't know why I said favourite now, but never mind. Moving on, we have the Doctor, the second Doctor, Patrick Troughton, in his, quite frankly, iconic fur coat, which looks absolutely fabulous. The detail on this is incredible. Like, I remember when I saw the prototype images being amazed by it, and then thinking maybe this was slightly weaker, but actually, no, in hand, this is incredible. I think the only thing that the prototype has on it compared to this is the fact that the drawstring isn't painted on, whereas on the prototype it is. This just looks like it's blended into the fur there, which means you kind of lost that detail, which is a little sad, but either way it's a little nitpick, I think, more than anything. You've got all the standard sort of articulation in terms of what the figure can do in terms of moving arms and heads, which is very, very stiff, as I'm sure you can imagine. It's being a new figure and all. Also, the first release of 2021, I've just remembered that. This is quite a stiff joint, but again, it could just be that it's a new figure. I think the feet are most likely going to be restricted by the coat, so yeah, that's a problem. But either way, it looks incredible, and I mean, what other pose are you going to want him in other than this pose? I mean, he looks incredible like that. But yeah, the detail on this, as I mentioned, is incredible. I mean, if you bring in a B&M set figure, this is my only other second Doctor figure, the War Games variant. If we bring them up closer, you can clearly tell the difference in terms of paint application, especially on the face and on the hair. There's a grey wash on the hair, which isn't present on the War Games Doctor, even though he's older in this one than he was in this story. But yeah, I mean, there's some nice details on the B&M one, don't get me wrong. There's some like weathering on the coat and stuff, but I think it's far superior on this figure compared to this figure. The trousers, you can see that I think the lines are slightly more defined and look a little sharper in my opinion, and the boots are the same sort of colour. And I love how shiny these are. I think they're supposed to be like Wellingtons, so it's nice that they sort of done that. And they've of course got the detail of the collar underneath with the bow tie, which is a slightly, I think that black compared to this. I think this is a blue. But yeah, you can tell that there's some nice details that they've added in there compared to the B&M version. So there's the two Doctors, so to speak, who are going to fall over in a second and stand up properly. Will they stand? No, they're not going to stand. Ooh. No. Okay. I give up. But yeah, I'm sure if I could use both hands, actually. If I just twiddle them about a bit. There you go. That didn't take much effort at all. There you go. Second Doctor figure looks incredible. I absolutely love it. And I cannot wait to start taking photos with this. And with the TARDIS as well. It's going to look great. Next, let's look at the crown jewel of the set. I'd rather argue that this is probably a crown jewel, but never mind. Here it is, the first electronic Doctor Who TARDIS from the classic series in over a decade, with some of the most fantastic tooling and electronics and lights and sounds and everything, and it looks fantastic and it's gorgeous and it's amazing. Thank you very much for watching. No, I'm kidding. Let's have a look at the rest of the box. Let's have a look at this. So first thing you'll notice is that the doors are the wrong way round. Yes, I believe this is a production issue that resulted in the entirety of season 5 having the TARDIS doors the wrong way around. So don't worry if you think this is inaccurate. It is in fact accurate, although I'm pretty sure after this everyone will know that this is in fact accurate. But yeah, I mean, so many people have done unboxings of this now and seen the Al Jawar video. It will just become a common fact at least now. But yeah, you can see that the doors are the wrong way around, which is a nice touch, nice about screen accuracy. I'm glad that when they've done the animations, they haven't fixed that, because they could have fixed that if they wanted to. So it's nice that they're keeping that accuracy, particularly on the steelbook. So you've got the TARDIS from those steelbooks, from the Web of Fear. If I get the steelbooks, I'll show you in a minute. But let's have a look at the toy itself first. You've got the keyhole on the wrong side, you got the removal of the handles on the doors, and I think there is, if you look, you can look where they've scratched out where the keyhole was before, but never mind. I don't know if that's a detail that I've missed or something. I don't know if it's something from the story. But yeah, you got the TARDIS windows looking surprisingly clean. The rest of it's quite weathered, actually. I think it's sort of a very toothpastey white colour that I think they've just like washed over some toothpaste or something. But no, it's very effective, and it gives the sort of worn, aged, I think it's quite a unique look, really. If you look at the photographs, it looks very much like this. And I mean, it's also one of the least plasticky feeling TARDISes that I've owned. If I brought in the War Games TARDIS, which I will do afterwards, you'll see what I mean. They're all quite waxy, the B&M TARDISes, whereas these are all quite matte, I think, which is quite nice for a change, because I was getting a bit tired of waxy TARDISes. And of course you've got the War Games tooling roof at the top with the light bulb in, which is quite yellow. It quite stands out even when you just sort of have it on display off, which I have got batteries for this. I love how they've sort of faded out the sides of the TARDIS as well, with the signage there as well. I think that's a nice touch as well, making it just feel like a bit more worn and weathered. And of course this sort of faded police box logo thing at the top, which I think is a nice touch, because obviously in the picture it's barely visible that I've seen from the story. You can barely read what it says, so I'm glad that they've included that touch and makes it just that extra bit more accurate to the story. And of course we finally have a reason for these speaker holes and annoying screw hole areas to exist, because, as I mentioned, lights and sounds, and that was a very bright light. I mean, in everyone else's reviews that I've seen, that sort of strobes, I'm guessing, I mean, advantages of filming on an iPhone, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, as you can see, it does in fact light up orange, which I think is a classic thing. My friend said to me that maybe it was because of the Ruth TARDIS lit up that colour, that maybe they were inspired by that. But I think in turn that's inspired by this, so it's round and round in circles. But yeah, I mean, she also suggested that you could potentially retool this set and do a Ruth Doctor and TARDIS set, which would be incredible. I'd love to see that. I really hope that they're listening to her, because that would be great. Yeah, anyway, you got the lantern at the top, the light, and it's all glowy and it makes noises. I don't do unboxings for figures very often, you can tell. But there's also a takeoff sound effect as well. I don't think there's a turbulence. No. It does continue to pulsate when you lift it off, which it doesn't when you settle it down, which I think is quite nice. So it's like it's in flight, and you can recreate all your favourite Target book covers where the TARDIS is in flight. I don't know if that's actually a thing. Maybe I'm imagining that. But I believe there's also a short landing and takeoff, if I... No, I don't know. So yeah, there's the short landing. And long-ish sort of flight as well. So yeah, that's the TARDIS essentially. It makes noises and lights up, and it's very pretty, and it's definitely a reason to buy this, because especially considering how rare the original electronic lights and sounds TARDISes are. It's so nice that we finally got another one, because I feel like those sets, I feel like this finally like undoes those sets. Like, we had all those B&M TARDISes and it made them maybe a bit less rare. They're still ridiculously expensive, those original ones. So it's finally nice to be able to have an electronic one, because I feel like so many people missed out on those sets, particularly if you are like me, who've been collecting the TARDIS sets only since the B&M ones because they're more affordable. So it's nice to finally be able to have a set that has this all in one. And here it is next to the War Games TARDIS, and as you can see, there is a much nicer finish to this version of the TARDIS than this one. This one looks very waxy. It feels very waxy, whereas, as I said, this is more matte. You can tell that they've used the same tooling for the lamp. I'm guessing that it was a slow progression to having the electronics for this set, really, because you've got the base, which was from originally the Sharda box, I think they introduced this base with, and then they slowly introduced the lamp and stuff. So I guess it's a sort of patchwork of recent B&M sets coming together to finally form this amazing B&M TARDIS. And you can see the main difference is, of course, the lamp posts, they're different, and the colour, and the fact that the door signs are different, and the missing little hole there. I believe the keyhole isn't actually meant to be there on this one, it's actually meant to be there. So maybe we will see this keyhole down there in future releases as well, I guess. So yeah, those are the two TARDISes next to each other from the War Games and the Abominable Snowmen. So yeah, that is my thoughts on the second Doctor and TARDIS from the Abominable Snowmen, and I'll just show you my lovely Web of Fear Yeti again before I go. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, why not consider subscribing? Tell me your thoughts on this set. Did you pick it up? I believe it might just still be available, but they're literally down to their last legs. So if you're seeing this video and you want this set, I would go immediately to the character options website and try and find it if it's still there, if you're lucky. I really hope it is, because it is a fantastic set. I really hope that you're able to get hold of this if you want it for a reasonable price. So yeah, thanks for watching and have a great afternoon, day, evening, morning, noon and night.